Welcome back to the Birdhouse Dynasty show for this 4th of July. We've got an announcement for you that is straight fireworks. That's right. The Birdhouse Dynasty show has gone on Patreon. You can join our site there and you can get live chats with the Birdman. You can get roster reviews, post polls on some of your trades. Lots of stuff to do there over on Patreon. We are totally excited to do that for you. Tonight's episode, we are going to be talking some wide receiver trades. That's right. We've got some trades involving George Pickens, Jalen Waddle, even a tight end, Mark Andrews. First up, though, we've got a couple deals involving Tank Dell. So let's get right to those for you. And I'm going to bring those up right now. Let's do this. We're going to start off with this one from our usual guest, Matt English. He has a deal here. That's right. It's in our recently finished up 53-man best ball dynasty slash franchise, if you will, franchise league. This one's a 53-man roster, 12-teamer. We start 11 offensive players, 11 defensive players, as well as a kicker. That's right. Usually no kickers in Dynasty, but we threw them into this format just for a little fun. The main thing is that we have a total of 53 guys on our rosters, and so what I want to do is show you this deal Matt accomplished earlier today. That's right. He sent away Devontae Smith and Theo Johnson, the rookie tight end with the Giants, and acquired Kyle Pitts and a 26th third. So break this deal down. 26th third and Theo Johnson pretty much cancel each other out. And then you're looking at the Kyle Pitts and Devonta Smith end of this deal. Now, one thing to mention about this deal is it is a full point per first down and full point tight end premium. It's also a full point per reception, meaning that when a tight end catches a pass for a first down, you're basically getting 3 points plus the yards in this league. So you can see the value of tight ends in this format. Regardless, I still do value the tight ends just slightly a little extra. I mean, when you're getting a full point per catch to begin with, that helps the receivers out. Plus, you're getting the full point per first down. So it's not, I don't know, it's not overly aggressive as it would be if it wasn't a full point per first down. So you add that into the mix, and I don't think it's so bad of a deal for Foss Boss. He, I'm sure, needed some help at the receiver position. If I remember right, did not grab a lot of starters there. So I see this as a win-win for both teams. You know, uh, Matt will be able to pick up an extra player after this trade was accomplished. So I guess he's gaining a little value there on the back end. So I definitely don't mind it from his end. So we'll move on to the next deal. That would be, let's move over to, let's see which one we've got here. Let me bring up this one. Yes, this was his Tank Dell deal. All right, so Matt was excited to go after Tank this week. He grabbed him in 2 leagues. This first one is in our Crash and Smash IDP league. We've got 3 IDPs in this one. but it is a start 12 offensive player, best ball, 12 teamer. And in this one, he was able to tear down from Jalen Waddle with B. White, and he acquired Tank Dell and a 26 second for Mr. Waddle. And I love this kind of deal. The receivers in the range of Jalen Waddle, like Brandon Ayuk. Um, again, here we go. So the receivers in the range of Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk, and let's see who else could I put up into that range. Nico Collins. Those types of receivers, I don't have a problem at all tearing down ever so slightly and scooping up like a second rounder for at this point. Um, as we'll get into with our upcoming video on crowded wide receiver rooms, Nico Collins is one player in particular we will discuss in that video. But with that room there in Houston with Nico, the newly acquired Stephon Diggs, and Tank Dell, as we see acquired in this deal, I'm not so much afraid of Tank Dell in Houston. I think that CJ Stroud has his guy. And I do like the physical attributes of Nico Collins, I guess I could say, as far as being a red zone target and probably being their touchdown leader, I could see for the next couple of seasons. But I do think Tank is going to be the guy who gets the most targets. All right. Stephon Diggs' entry into that wide receiver room is merely just a 1 year rental. Think back to Antonio Brown coming into Tampa a couple of years ago when they already had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin established there. I liken that situation to Stephon Diggs coming into town. So I don't think it really will hinder Nico or Tank that much. I think that it just really enhances CJ Stroud's just his, you know, sort of insulated value, I guess. And as has happened this off season, CJ Stroud jumped up in value all the way up to number 3 at quarterback, and he's held strong through this off season with that value based on his great rookie season and then the addition of Stephon Diggs. But again, back to Tank Dell, I don't think that Tank really will be missing targets just because of Stephon Diggs. I think that they may pass a little bit more. They may score a little more points as well. So more touchdown passes just means more volume all around in the passing game. Um, the sneaky guy, I think, in redraft would be Joe Mixon, even in Dynasty at his age. I think that the volume will be there when they're milking leads in the fourth quarter because they've established themselves as a pretty solid offense and all around team with the additions on defense that they made as well. So I think good things brewing down there in Houston for the Texans. And I like this deal for Matt. And we'll move on to his other deal where he got Tank Dell. And so let's go bring it up here. Right. Okay. Nope, that one's not it. Sorry, folks. Trying to grab these trades in a different way tonight just to bring them and present them a little better to you guys. Let me try this. We'll skip that Tank Dell deal. We'll bring up a couple deals from the Fantasy Reaper in the same league. We'll start with this here, and this one had him dealing with Boss. This is in our Mojo Forever 12 team lineup start 10 league. And in this deal, I believe the Reaper had a couple of things in mind here, but to start with, again, we have another Houston wide receiver, and in this case, the Reaper was able to unload Mark Andrews and DJ Chark to Foss Boss, and in return, got Stephon Diggs, JT Sanders, the rookie tight end in Carolina, and a 25 second. So when I break this one down, I like this deal for both sides. Foss Boss definitely needed a tight end, and he got his man in Mark Andrews. He was able to unload an older wide receiver. JT Sanders, we're not quite so sure yet what we're getting there with JT. Obviously, great talent there. Did well at the combine, and we'll see what Bryce Young and him can accomplish this season. But I guess as long as your expectations are low from JT Sanders and you're not expecting him to start right away, then I think you should be able to. Uh, I think you'll be fine. Um, so more importantly is what Fantasy Reaper was able to do on the back end of this deal. So he went and turned around and did a second deal that I'll show you right here. So here it is. The Fantasy Reaper went ahead and took Stephon Diggs and that 25 second he acquired from Floss Boss and went ahead and flipped that over to Frosties here and acquired George Pickens. So if we use both of these deals and combine them, basically the Fantasy Reaper was able to acquire JT Sanders and George Pickens for Mark Andrews and DJ Chark. Now, DJ Chark's in that muddled Charger wide receiver room where we don't really know who the number one is. Many think it's going to be the rookie Lad McConkey. Josh Palmer is still there. Then, of course, you have Quentin Johnston and now the veteran DJ Chark. So to me, it looks like a bunch of receivers that are going to get, 60, 70 catches, 700 to 800 yards, and who knows how many tight ends, touchdowns for each of those guys. So I don't know what to expect, at least from DJ Chark. And if you want to count him and JT Sanders as equals, go ahead. But when it comes to Pickens and Mark Andrews, I'm definitely going to like the side for the Fantasy Reaper there. If we go now and take a look at the Reaper's roster, let's do this here. Slide up. See where he is at now after this deal. So he was able to acquire George Pickens. He had Dalton Schultz already. So Schultz is his new starting tight end, which I don't mind. It's not phenomenal, but it's also not terrible either. So when we're looking at Fantasy Reaper, what he was able to do, he upgraded his wide receiver room, and now he's got the nice young tandem of Pickens and London. He also has Xavier Worthy there, who he's stacking with Patrick Mahomes. So he really bumped up his wide receiver room that he didn't have uh, as much going for him there. So I really like the moves that the Fantasy Reaper was able to accomplish there. All right. So that's all I've got on trades tonight for you. The main thing was I wanted to make that great big firework announcement for you guys that we're live on Patreon now. So go ahead, join, subscribe, and I can help you out. You also can reach me at Birdhouse Dynasty Show at gmail.com. If you would like some roster reviews, just put roster review in the title. You can then give me your sleeper handle and which league it is that you'd like me to review your team. and you can have the Birdman give you some advice on maybe a wow, few moves you can make before this season starts. We've got just 8 weeks before the NFL season kicks off. That's right, just 8 weeks away, folks. Getting pumped. All right. So, again, join us on Patreon. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll have some more action for you coming this Sunday night. Thank you for stopping in tonight.